I think it's time that you start listening to America and maybe the people who are actually looking into these budgetary things a little bit closer. We just may have to shut it down. And I want people to realize one small thing. Whatever the media is trying to sell you as to what is going to happen if the government shuts down, remember, go back to the default. The mainstream media lies through their damn teeth every friggin' day. What makes you think that today is going to be anything different? They are going to try to sell you on the fact that if the government shuts down, you and all of the other people are going to lose the Social Security and then the military and all of the parks and all of the great things that the government provides and yada, 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 yada. Now, that's horseshit too, okay? The thing about this is that we can't rush the budget. See, what they did is they made the mistake of letting all of this stuff wait till the last minute. You know, we got like procrastinating, if you will. And now they're throwing it on every senator's and every representative's doorstep saying, hey, basically you've got to vote for this now because we're running out of time. And if you don't do it, you're a bad American because you're going to let all those people, you know, suffer. And, you know, the people that rely on the government for the, you know, the different functions that they do, you know, those people are going to be out of jobs and, you know, you're doing bad things. Here's the deal. Joe Biden and this administration is ultimately responsible for all of this spending and where this spending went and why we were spending this. So the buck stops with him. So ultimately, this is on his watch and this administration. So if you're going to be pointing fingers anywhere, that's where we need to be pointing it. However, in order to fix this problem, this is a simple solution. It's people within the GOP who claim to be conservatives, who claim to be traditional conservatives, who claim to be fiscal conservatives, or even those who consider themselves neoconservatives. You need to start looking that you're never going to be able to fund your neoconservative wars anymore. The American country is bankrupt. And that's what you are doing. We are spending ourselves into an oblivion, and the answers are basically, let's just spend some more. We'll just tax the guy at the bottom a little bit more. Here's the deal. That's impossible. That can't happen. The guy at the bottom can't do any more than they're already doing. So that means that in order to pay for this, the taxes got to go up on the rich, and we most certainly know where that's going to head. So I suggest getting a control on spending first. What do you think about that? Getting a control on spending, and then once you get a control on spending, then you maybe can look at each one of those agencies one by one. And I'm sorry, hopefully you can hear me because it's very windy out here today. But yeah, each one of those agencies, we're going to look at each one by one, and we're going to look and see which agencies are the ones actually serving the American people, and the other agencies which are just being used as Biden's Gestapo, which is weaponizing itself against the American people in order to push through whatever agenda they have marked on their calendars. You see, this deep state thing is, you know, it sounds so, you know, what do they call that? Cloak and dagger, you know, CIA, ooh. But in reality, this stuff is real, my friends. This is not a joke. I mean, the deep state or the administrative state is just a connection of all of these departments using government agencies and all of these regulatory people along with lobbyists and philanthropists and all these other things to create these movements which ultimately direct the direction in which the country goes. You can see all the hands at play, you can see all of the people that are directly involved in the process, and once you see all of that, you can't unsee it. So the point being is that if you're going to start looking at these agencies and looking at them individually on an individual basis to determine whether or not the agency is actually serving the American people or not, I can guarantee you, just like Twitter, you're going to realize that majority of these agencies don't need the personnel or the people, or not actually doing anything at all. They're actually just sucking up the American tax dollar. And another thing, since we're talking budgetary issues, we're not spending one more damn dime on the Ukraine. So whoever up in DC thinks that that's going to happen, yeah, you better rethink that, because we're not spending any more money overseas at all, as far as I'm concerned. You go ahead and put me in, and I can guarantee you we're going to be taking care of this country first, and if there's anything left over at the end, then we'll help somebody else, because I can guarantee you All those other countries aren't at the bill, sitting at the friggin' front door, waiting to give the United States any extra money right now. Because we don't know how to spend money properly. We piss money away. We are $33 trillion in debt, and we just spent $1 trillion in the last 90 days. And this Congress is talking about wanting more? I don't think so. So the government shuts down. It shuts down. You need to get that through your thick heads. We are not worried that the process of the United States will not continue after September 30th, because it will. But this gets you more motivated to getting a balanced budget so you can open the government back up. See, the government's too large. It's involved in too many things. And that's what conservatism is. Not Republican, not Democrat, conservatism. I guarantee you the majority of Americans are more conservative than they think. Because when it comes to how we are supposed to prepare our lives and do things within our lives, well, you have to conserve the materials you have. You have to be responsible with the money and the resources that you have in order to pave a nice road for your future. If you're haphazard, like so many of us have been, you can see the results of that. And the government is no different. If we don't rein them in now and do the things that Matt Gaetz and several of the others are actually talking about, being fiscally responsible, there's not going to be an America left. It's not going to matter, who's right and who's wrong, Democrat. Those things are so irrelevant at this point. It's not going to matter. What matters is getting control over the purse so that you can stop these agencies and this Gestapo from wasting all of this money with the intent of destroying America. These people are traitors, are tyrants, are more than just, guys breaking the law and be impeached. No. You need to go after criminal action here when this is all said and done. This is not normal on any circumstances. And if we are not going to be a country or a nation of laws which conservative principles are based upon, then what the hell are we doing this for? It's just an act then. So I'm sorry. We need to rein in on a lot of these ideas. We need to start talking to each other again. This is not a Democrat, nor is it a Republican issue. This is an issue over the saving of America. And if you have not woken up to that fact yet, and I'm talking to the people in DC here, because the American people have enough on their plate, okay? They're still the ones out there fighting and trying to push this argument into your court so that you can finally make an educated decision for once and actually do what you said you were going to do in the first place, and that's represent the people and this United States. I don't see how this is open for debate. Mother Hubbard's cupboard is empty. You spent it all. I'm sorry that you did that, but we're not raising any more credit card limits. It's over. And if you can't figure out a way to trim a little fat off the budget, well, then you're gonna shut it down until you do. And that's the reality that America feels right at this moment. You think that it's just me, Dave Man here, basically just flapping his mouth every damn day. No. I'm getting this from the consensus of the people that I talk to on a regular basis, and a lot of the polling that I do, and just everyday conversation. Florida's a melting pot for people coming down here on vacation, so I get a decent perspective of what the people all over the United States are thinking. Again, I've said this before, it doesn't matter the sex, race, creed, it doesn't matter any of that. People sense bullshit. They recognize bullshit. It happens in their life every single day. You think that this is just a government thing? No. Government is just an extension of everything else that happens in our life. It's all the same horse shit. The only difference in government is you're dealing in trillions of dollars. Okay? Trillions. These are numbers that are incomprehensible to most people. And you just spent 1 trillion 90 days. Last 90 days. That's just, it's ridiculous what we're talking about. 1,000 billion. Just piss it away like it's nothing, because you're paying for it, America. They got you and me sucking it every single day and paying for it, and they want us to pay for more. They want to raise this a little bit more and make everything a little bit tighter to the point where you basically are going to have nothing anyway. You're already squeezed dry. Now, this is the time where we start uniting, we start talking to one another, we start reacting to one another, and you know what? We just start listening to one another. Just because I'm in another camp, or you knew me as the guy over there that was always saying bad crap about Democrats. Well, listen to this, okay? If the Democrats have come up with any decent ideas in the last 25 years, I'd be more than happy to promote them. But they don't. They're not a party of ideas. They use race against everybody, sex against everybody. They jump on all of these movements, and they basically, the divide and conquer approach. They promise everything and give you nothing. And then the Republicans, well, they're just they're worse because they claim to be conservatives, and they basically are the same as Democrats anyway. That's even worse. That's why I'm saying the parties don't matter anymore. You do. You matter. They know you fucking matter. Forget about the labels. We're not talking labels anymore. Labels are irrelevant. This whole fucking thing is irrelevant. You're smarter than this. You're smarter than them. They fear you, and they know we're coming. So all I want to say in this whole damn thing is call your senators. You know what to do. We're not raising the debt. We're not doing anything. We're going to shut that government down until you can get to the table with all the people and come up with cuts across the board, line by line, each agency, each individual section, because we're not rolling it into an omnibus package later in the year. They're not doing it. Done and over with. It's time to legislate. It's time to do what you said you were going to do back in January. It's time to start fulfilling the promises you made to the American people. You know, we're sick of it. We're sick of the empty promises. Too many years, too many times, over and over and over again. It's rinse and repeat. It's about time you do what you said you were going to do. And that's called lead. It's time to show what we can do, MAGA. Get involved where you lived. Call your senators. You let them know exactly how you feel. You tell them how these last 2.5 years have been on your life. And you tell them that they squeeze any harder, they're going to destroy your life. No, we're not raising the budget at all. We are not doing any CRs. We are going to get a balanced budget. I want to look at each one of these issues line by line. No more of this just rolling it into one package and then passing the buck down to the next Congress and the next Congress. No more. Mother Hubbard's cupboard is empty. And we're done playing these games. You know exactly what we're talking about. So don't play stupid with us anymore. The American people have had enough of the bullshit, enough of the lecturing from the mainstream media. And there goes to you, mainstream media. Keep that shit up. You already don't have an audience as it is. Tucker was the last person that anybody wanted, to even watch in the evening news. And the dumb foreigners, Murdochs, they got rid of him. Why? It was part of the deal. They couldn't have that guy talking truth. Can't have me talking truth on the media? Wow, that's a noble idea. No, we just like to push in that propaganda. We just try to sell whatever the CIA is selling that week. Where do you go get your scripts? Where do you guys get your scripts? Mainstream media, huh? Just David Ignatius write it down to you, and then you have to go check the email every morning, go, ooh, yeah, I got to stay on point with this one, and, bullet point this, bullet point that, make sure we slam on this. Is that how it works? Pathetic. All right, everybody. You know what to do. Call the congressman, call your leaders, support those leaders who are standing up to this horse shit. You got to support them, of all of them. Donate to them, to their campaigns if you can. I mean, whatever it is that you can do, just make sure that these people know that you got their back. A lot of these people are putting their names out there, putting their faces, on the chopping block. It takes balls and courage to do this stuff, and somebody has to do it. I'm just proud of the fact that Matt Gaetz of Florida was one of them leading the charge in this. This is what we have to do. We can't be afraid anymore. We have to unite around one banner, and that is America. We have to put this country first before any other country, and we need to start taking care of our shit at home. Get your friggin' house in order. That's rule number one. Remember? We got to get our proverbial house in order. That's what has to happen. All right, folks. I'll see you on the battlefield. You know what to do. Call your senators. Give them hell. Tell them what you feel. Tell them how in the hell are we going to pay. Ask him to explain it to you. Don't give you the long drawn out, it's for, we got to make sure the government is shut down. But don't give, no. Explain to me. You tell them to explain to you. All right, folks. I'll see you on the battlefield. Take care.